With one bandage, okay, at the ankle. And this is what we're going to do. We are going to hold the bandage at either end, bring it across, kaza, and then we bring it at the back. Okay, so when I tie this, now this is what we call the figure of 8. You can see it is forming something that looks like a number 8, yes. Isn't it?
Figure of 8.
Figure of 8.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to insert one bandage at the knees. Slide it down. Okay. Insert another bandage at the knees and still slide it down. Okay. And then I am going to tie these bandages, and as you can see, I am putting my knots on the uninjured leg.
Yes.
Okay. And then
why do we put that on an injured leg? Is it to prevent more pain?
Yes, we are trying to prevent more pain. Okay. So we say the knots go on the uninjured leg. So if they've broken the left leg, we put it on the right leg. If they've broken both legs, the knots are going to be at the center. Okay. There. Okay, so what have I done? I have tied a bandage above the fracture, below the fracture, figure of 8. Okay, so even if the fracture was here, again, I'd have done above the fracture, below the fracture, and figure of 8.
Yes.
And then if we are to transport our casualty at for a long distance, we're going to put what we call padding. Okay, and where do we put padding? We put padding in 3 places. Number 1, at the ankle. Number 2, at the knees. Number 3, at the groin. Whereby we want to prevent the friction as we are moving our casualty. Yes.
Can one attempt to move the limb?
It will be very painful.
For them?
For the casualty, yes.
Hakuna dawa unapea mtu painkiller?
Hapana. As a first aider, you're not allowed to give any medication. Yeah. The only person who is allowed to give any medication is someone who has been licensed by the Poisons and Pharmacy Board. Yes.
Now say they have broken the knee, a joint here, right here, the knee. This one we are working with the ankle. So how would we do it for the knee? I know that you've said if we were working with the upper part, we would still put them on the body horrors. But how about the knee? And I'm asking this because I have interest in that, the knee specifically. I have a patient with a broken knee.
And knee, very good. Now, remember, if a casualty has broken the knee, any time that the knee is touching the ground, it is applying pressure. Okay, so what we want to do is to relieve that pressure. So how do we relieve the pressure? We just elevate the knees like that. So put something here like a blanket, okay, or a piece of cloth that will enable us to elevate the knee, and then the figure of 8 still remains because we want to immobilize. And then if you're moving them over a distance, again, we're going to put a padding at the knee to reduce the friction, and at the groin and here. Yes. Okay, so if it is at the knee, I will remove this. Okay, so let's assume this is my blanket. I'm going to put a padding under the blanket to make sure that the knees are elevated to reduce the pressure. Okay, and then the figure of 8 still remains.
Considering with a broken knee, one cannot bend it. So how do you ensure that, you know, even as it's raised like that, not much pressure goes on to, you know, that particular knee, and alternatively the leg as well?
Now, as we are trying to move it or to elevate it, there's going to be pain. Okay, tukubaliane. Ndio. But we are just telling them, avumilia tu kidogo so that we elevate. Because ikiwa in this position, definitely the pain is going to reduce. But if we leave it like that on the ground, they're going to be in much more pain. So unamwambia, just relax, vumilia kidogo, we want to elevate the knee, and then once we elevate, that's it. Yes.
Would it need to be more painful? Say, wafike pale hospitali, and then the doctors now are removing those things for